So I posted on my community tab on YouTube here that I was going to pick up a Therm-a-Rest sleeping bag, and I suggested other people pick them up because they're on sale. There's literally $100 savings on these things. And I went, well, why am I picking up one? So I bought two. And if you notice, they have different, I hope you can see that, different temperature ratings is what they have. Now, there's a lot of confusion with Therm-a-Rest when you buy. They say made in USA. They make this stuff all over the world. These actually have a tag on them that say made in China. So these are being made in China. And common sense would simply tell you that for 300 bucks, there's just no way you could make this in the US for that price. So I want to pull these out, and I want to give you some real stats and some information about these. And they have to be put in these bags because it keeps the feathers locked up. When you pack this down, it'll pack down to the size of a water bottle. Now, the tag I was looking for is this tag here. It's not... See, this one says 20 Fahrenheit or -6 Celsius. That is the most uncomfortable rating. It's not the... Now, this bag is the 20 Fahrenheit by -6 Celsius. I don't believe that, okay? I believe that's the extreme where you take it as far as you can take it. I believe it's probably much higher than that. Will it handle down to 0 Celsius, 32 Fahrenheit? Almost definitely. This bag will do it. Now, with these Therm-a-Rest bags, I also made sure to buy the Therm-a-Rest insert, which is this here. Now, the reason you want to have an insert, and it doesn't have to be an expensive one, and don't think you're going to get all this extra warmth from an insert. You might get 5 degrees. But an insert basically keeps the oils of your skin, your dirtiness, off the inside of your sleeping bag. And that's very important because this is a lot easier to throw in the wash machine than it is to wash one of these. Now, what's nice about these Therm-a-Rests is they have a big, lofty foot box. Do you see that there? That is really nice, is what that is. Now, they only put down where down is needed. You don't want down underneath your back because when you sleep on top of down, it just flattens and it does nothing. Basically, your pad is what heats your back. And I'll have a link to a video I did on pads, but having a good pad is very important depending on the temperatures you go with. Now this particular one, and the other one for that matter, has this thing here on the back. This wraps around, and you can see it's brand new. I got these rubber things still on it. This wraps around the pad, which keeps the pad in place. Now, there's one other thing I like about these is it has these little blue loops here. And that allows me to take a quilt, for example, and hook a quilt on and connect it to these and now have a double sleeping bag basically. I have the sleeping bag and I have the quilt. I guess that's about it. There's two on the bottom to hold the pad. And it's got a hood, as you can see, and you want that on you. So this is like an early fall is what I'll be using that sleeping bag for. And that's why I bought two. Now this one is pretty much the same thing, except it has just more down. Oh, and I hate these tags. Hate them with a passion. Now, I wanted to talk about a couple more things with these to help you understand. This one says 0 Fahrenheit, 10 Celsius. All right, let me show you this. This is where the zipper is right now. If you're laying in your sleeping bag, in the old days when I was younger, you were like a taco done up where a bear could get you. You can get out of these very quickly. Like for example, as long as you don't have this thing snapped off, okay, and you just leave the snap off, literally, that's all you got to do, and it opens wide open, which is really awesome. It does not snag at all. Now on the inside is where they hide it. Let me tell you about this. Now the comfort rating for this, I'm going to need my glasses. The comfort rating for this is 14 Fahrenheit or minus 10 Celsius. Now that means if it gets down to 14 Fahrenheit or minus 10 Celsius, you're going to be very comfortable. Okay? But you'll notice on the right side it says the limit is 0 Fahrenheit minus 18 Celsius. And that's what the bag is advertised as. Which in a way that's a lie. Because that means if you take it down to that and you got nothing but this bag, it means you're going to be shivering, you're going to be cold. You're going to live, but you're going to be cold. So you have to keep that in mind. And this is a size regular. Okay? Now, that's very important. Now, I've seen people, okay, talk about these, especially in the comment section, and you'll see them sit back and say, oh, I got the large because I like to put my head under or inside my sleeping bag. I just shook my head when I seen that, and it looked like that person had been hiking for a long time. That's actually suicidal. You're going to build up moisture inside your sleeping bag, which in turn is going to wreck your down, which in turn is not going to have as much heating properties, and you're going to be freezing in the morning and soaking wet. Okay, your head should never be inside the sleeping bag. Keep that in mind. You want your head outside the sleeping bag. So that way you don't build up moisture inside that sleeping bag. I just couldn't believe some of the comments I seen. And then I seen a couple comments where they were giving it a 0 in the feedback, and they were saying, well, there's nothing on the bottom. There's no down on the bottom. And I just shook my head and I giggled. You know, there's a lot of technology in these sleeping bags now. And I think people are looking upon them as what they were 20 years ago. They don't have any down in the bottom because it does you no good. When you lay on the down, it doesn't heat you whatsoever. So they can remove the weight there. And that's the whole idea. Keep you warm, remove the weight, make it comfortable, and give yourself a complete sleep system. So what keeps you warm if there's no down in the bottom? Well, that's your pad. Now, I'll link a video to this I made a bunch of times where I talked all about pads, and having the right pad for the right temperature is important. And pads run by R ratings. I have a pad that runs R7, which will take me down to 30 below. My son has a pad that's R8, takes him down to 40 below. He's actually a cold sleeper. Yeah, he sleeps kind of cold, so he needs the extra heat, where I sleep kind of hot. Now, you have to consider a lot goes into this. Now, at the same time, you don't want to buy the large and long if you're short. I seen another person write a comment saying, oh, I bought the long so I could put more things inside my sleeping bag. I just shook my head with that. When I put this on, and I laid on my bed with it, I probably had about that much at the bottom of my feet, which is perfect. The more this fits me like a glove, the more it's going to disperse my heat properly. Now, yes, I put my water purifier, my batteries, my camera, stuff like that in the foot of my sleeping bag, because if I keep that stuff warm, especially a water purifier, if it cracks, you're done deal. So you're going to be sleeping with a certain amount of things to keep them from breaking. And there was enough room for all that. I rolled on my side, and this is got some type of term. They call it WARM, which simply means you could move around in this mummy. And I was like, when I turned on my side, it was like perfect. It was like somebody took a laser and knew how to make this sleeping bag to where it would literally give you very little room when you turned on your side. And that's very important because if you got this much room around your body because of that bag, then what happens is we're only heating up that much because it's your body that actually heats you up. The down feathers hold the heat and make it extremely light and packable. But if you got big spaces like this, it'll probably never heat up because it's too much space. I believe divers' suits are designed pretty much the same, where a little bit sits above the skin where it allows a certain amount of water in. That water gets warm, which in turn keeps the body warm. It's almost like an extra skin protecting your body. So this technology's been around for a very long time. Yet you'll notice there's a lot of down around the neck. There's a lot of down in the foot. There's a little bit of down going down through the body. And that's actually pretty smart. Now on these bags, we have a zipper that's located here. And you can get a cell phone in there. I can get my GoPros in there. I don't run GoPro, I run DJI Max. But I can get my cameras in there. You can get a few things in there. Maybe a headlamp, so you know where it is when you need it. And I love the way that unzips so easy, like I showed you, because my firearm sits beside me when I'm in the tent. And to just unzip that, grab my firearm, and be ready for anything is just awesome, is what that is. This bag is perfect. And nothing ever is perfect. You'll never hear me ever say something's perfect and it's not. You'll even notice on back here, okay, you see these blue things here? I can raise this or lower this, okay, to go in these blue things any way I want. And I can make them as wide as I want. So that's kind of nice. So now, let me grab that other one again, now that I know where it is. And this one says, what was it? 20 Fahrenheit minus 6 Celsius. Lies, lies, everybody lies. They hide it on the inside. Okay. So the comfort rating on this one, see, that's what I thought. It says it's 20 Fahrenheit minus 6 Celsius, right? But the comfort rating is 32 Fahrenheit, 0 Celsius. So you're good down to 32 Fahrenheit or 0 degrees with this bag. So basically it's an early fall bag. If you got to take it down to that, then you're going to, from what the bag originally, you're going to be shivering. Now, it's kind of subjective. You have to think that, what are you going to be wearing? Like, are you going to be wearing a heavy jacket? Are you going to be taking extra clothes? Can you layer up? I mean, you can take bags down to some pretty crazy temperatures. Like when I ran my quilts and I took them down to almost minus 20, I had a hat on, I had big gloves on, I had a couple shirts on. I mean, I layered up. There was no way my quilts were made to go that low. But because I had a really good pad and because I could take them down and I could dress like that, then, it was pretty bulky. So I've upgraded my entire sleep system. Now, understand something. When you wear a mummy or you wear a quilt, I don't care what anybody tells you, quilts will have cold spots if you move around. Now, unless you sleep like a dead robot, then okay, fine. Therm-a-Rest does have some sleeping bags that have like 850 down in them, and they're like a pound and a half, and they'll take you down to minus 20, but you're not going to roll over on your side. You're going to lay flat on your back and you better not move. That is how they're designed. And that's all there is to it. So these particular bags allow you to roll over, allow you to sleep on your stomach, sleep on your back, and still have the warmth, is what they allow. Now, like I said, I could take that colder sleeping bag and add my quilt to it, attach it, and oh, I could probably get it down to -20 quite easy because I'm doubling up on the down. And I'm adding a whole pound to my sleep system then. And that's another thing. When you run the bag it says, 32 Fahrenheit or 0 Celsius, that bag is almost a pound less than the other bag. So, what bag should you get? Well, if you plan to camp and you want to camp in January, in February, you want to camp in these really cold months, ask yourself how cold it gets. Maybe neither one of these bags are good for you if you're in the north. But here in Tennessee, I mean, I've been down to the single digits Fahrenheit, 6 Fahrenheit, 5 Fahrenheit, and I have camped in it. I've made videos on it. But the thing is that it only happens maybe 2 days out of the year. It doesn't happen that often. But when I run my packs, I try to think, well, weather's unpredictable. I never know how cold it's going to get. So if I think I'm going to go into single digits, there's even a chance that quilt is going to ride inside my backpack. I will carry that extra pound so I know there's no way I'm going to freeze to death. And that is very, very important. So if you're camping early fall, I would go with the coldest one if you can only afford one. Because you can always unzip it and release some heat and control somewhat of the temperature when you're sleeping. To when it gets really cold, you can zip it all the way up. Now keep in mind, if you have a blanket or you have a down blanket or something like that, you can always throw it on top. But I would go with the coldest one and make sure you go with the right size. Now I'm 5'10", I'm 210 pounds, and the regular fits me perfect with a little bit of room at the bottom. Don't go with the big long one if you don't need it. Now if you're over 5'10", I would go with the long one. Okay, that's all there is to it. If you're really heavy, if you're over, I don't know, 250 pounds, say, I wouldn't go with the regular. I would go with the long because it gives you more material for it to be around you, is what I would do. So that's important too, depending on how wide you are. But this bag fits me perfect. And I was just amazed. That scared me when I first started. Too big. I mean, that's a big purchase. You figure it was like $300 a piece, so you figure out $600 just for 2 bags. And I was hoping, God, please be the right size because I don't want to have to pack this up and mail it back, right? And I did. I did really good. So I'm awesome with these bags. So I have complete confidence when I grab my pad, that's an R7 with these. I can go in any weather. It doesn't matter. I don't care if it's snowing. I don't care if it's raining. Um, it's pretty awesome. Now, I wanted to demonstrate showing you with me wearing it, but it's just too hot here in Tennessee right now. I mean, we're sitting 110 Fahrenheit. Humidity's like 90, 89, and I mean Celsius, that's like 40 Celsius. It is crazy hot here. I mean, even when I go outside and I take the dogs out, it's even hard to breathe. My dogs don't even want to stay out there. Normally, when I take my German Shepherd out, he wants to just play. But this heat, when I take him out, he doesn't even wait to get a foot away from the door and he's dropping right there. And then he runs back the door, says, okay, I'm done, let's go. I'm like, really? You couldn't wait till we got over there? I mean, he don't want to be out there. He wants to be inside the bunker where the air conditioning is. It is crazy out there. Now, one thing I actually do out there for the cats, because I have a bunch of cats that are outside that nobody wants, we 3 times a day we put frozen pop bottles, soda bottles, in their waters, and we have waters all around the house. So we're constantly changing water bottles every 3 or 4 hours so their water's not lukewarm. Who the heck wants to drink that, right? But anyhow, I'll have links to both of these. If you can only afford one, get the coldest one, and make sure you get the right size for what fits your body. I also bought this, which was a liner, which wasn't cheap. I believe these are on sale too. I figured Therm-a-Rest, get Therm-a-Rest. The only thing is about this is it's nice about not getting the inside dirty. I also bought a Therm-a-Rest pillow I made a video on. Not very many people watched. I'll link up to that. But, the size difference in the bulk is amazing. So if you're looking for a sleeping bag or you know you're going to need one before this winter, you want to buy one now, right? Because everything, there's 30% off, plus there's a coupon you clip. I mean, you're literally going to save over $100 on these bags is what you're going to do. And you're going to be able to camp through the winter. So that is very, very important. And you're going to get the sales now because it's summer and they're winter bags. They're not summer bags. And that's how you get the sales. I mean, now they have to hang up on the shelf for the next 6 months, but it's going to be worth it in the end because of the money you save. Like by buying two, I saved over $200. I mean, if you think about it, that's almost another bag. That was allowed me to buy this other stuff, you know, instead of, it's just a really good deal right now. It really is. $300 for down, and how this packs these pack down to the size of a water bottle because it's down, and they do give you the carrying bag and all the stuff you need with it. You don't need to spend extra money on anything. So anyhow, there's a quick review on these Therm-a-Rest bags. You'll see me using them in the wintertime, and I'll be talking about them a lot more. But there's a lot of scientific research that has gone into these sleeping bags compared to what it used to be when I was in my 30s. I'll catch you guys on the next one.